100% Hard AF Seltzer is now live in over 2,500 locations across the United States. We're now available in Florida, Georgia, Alabama, Tennessee, North Carolina, Ohio, Idaho, Illinois, Michigan, Montana, Oregon, and Texas. Go to hardafseltzer.com today, click on the store locator, enter your city or zip, and find the nearest location closest to you. Welcome to Drinkin Bros, presented by GhostBed.com. Yeah, welcome to Drinkin Bros, kids. Got a big Tuesday show for you, kids. The stars of SEAL Team are here. Tyler Gray, AJ Buckley, David Boreanaz. I'm kidding. He's not here. David Boreanaz is not here. Look, we're all friends in real life, so it's always weird introing you guys like that.
I know.
But it's over now. It's all done.
Well, unfortunately, yeah.
We miss it.
I know.
Do you guys miss it as much as we do?
I do, yeah. I miss like just the camaraderie and the getting to travel and show up to set. I mean, we had literally the best job in the world. We'd show up to set, fly around in Blackhawks and blow shit up and hang out with your buddies for 7 years. It's, it's not a bad. It's like doing like going from procedural drama to getting to be outside and blow shit up. Yeah, it's the way to go.
It is
best job ever.
It is. And then Tyler, I mean, you were directing, so. A couple times. I imagine you probably wanted a break at some point where you were like, bro.
I was not sad that it ended. No. Yeah,
no.
I was ready for some time off.
I remember chatting with you last time, and you were like, dude, I am fucking burnt out, dude.
Yeah, I'm trying to think of when that was, a couple years ago. But yeah, I was definitely burnt out. So it's been I still obviously miss parts, but overall, it was a crazy 8 years of just nonstop, burning myself down.
Yeah, because the craziest part to me, D'Anthony, and I don't know if you felt this way too, is because of COVID and everything else, it seemed like the show went on for like 10, 12 seasons, which it didn't. Yeah. And then also it was on CBS and then Paramount Plus, and then back to CBS because everybody was desperate for content.
Yeah.
But then the ratings kept going higher once it was back on CBS, and I felt like the show was more famous than ever. And then all of a sudden you guys were shooting your last season, and that was it. It was done. Where it probably could have gone another 3 seasons or 4 after going back to CBS.
I think prior to the writer's strike and actor strike, we were told we're probably going to do 7 and 8 like back to back.
Yeah.
That was the sort of consensus, and the show did. Like, I mean, I think it's still #1 on Paramount right now. It has, since it went to Paramount, it sort of took a life of its own.
Yeah,
and it really showed the network. We were one of the biggest streaming shows we were the first big streaming show that they had on the platform, and a lot of people came from CBS over to it, or then discovered it, and it sort of when people really binge watched it and got into it. I mean, as hard as it was filming and stuff, it's a fucking really good. It's the one show I can say I'm fucking really proud of. Like it's a really good fucking show.
And then military wise, D'Anthony, you always said they got it right. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Because of Tyler?
It doesn't hurt to
Was
have...
he in it?
Not just in it, but technical advice.
He played the guy with the arm thing.
Oh, okay, cool. Yeah, no, I couldn't remember.
I was in makeup every day getting that done.
I thought he was the real military guy, and then you were the actor.
It does break people's heart when they find out I'm not from Texas. And
it's even worse to find out you're from fucking Canada.
All right.
Sort of.
Is that true?
By way
Irish,
of Canada.
by way of Canada.
Okay.
But I was born in Dublin, and I lived in
the Guinness factory.
I lived in Canada. Yeah. My dad's ejaculation was Guinness. It was fucking.
And Lucky Charms, it just shot right out to the ding dong hole.
Yeah, it was. I was doing a jig on the birth canal on the way as a sperm. It was
like Michael Flatley.
Yeah, Lord of the Dance.
Everybody forgets about Michael Flatley. I don't forget.
I don't either.
The Lord of the Dance. That guy. I don't even think he was Irish.
No, I don't think he was gay either. No. I think he's the first tap dancer that wasn't gay.
I don't know. Gregory Hines wasn't gay. He kind of...
Was he?
No.
Was he straight or gay?
There's no way Gregory
Hines was tap dancing on the NAS.
I once went to a Russian ballet, and I was like in awe of the dudes. They were like freaking jumping so like they literally would float through the air.
I'm not saying they're not talented, AJ.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm just saying they were homosexuals.
No, but
Okay.
whatever. But they had their pick. If it was a dude or a girl, those were straight up.
That's where you want to be.
Yeah.
No matter what
had a
what I
choice.
want that day, it's my.
You're just like a lion. It was an apex predator on the stage that would float across in like these things and just land and be like, I like you and I like you.
Well, you got the cod piece on those guys, and then it could be because then it leaves everything up to the imagination of is there a giant dick and balls underneath it, or is it the cod piece? And then to your point, dude, that's what you really aspire to be in this life is man or woman. I want to be able to fuck whoever I want.
Well, when I played baseball in high school, I wore the largest cup I could find to intimidate the umpires.
Did you really?
Oh yeah.
I love that.
God, that's great. And nobody wears them anymore, man.
No.
Max used to remember when Max would we'd have like photos if there was like a set photographer or something like that. He would get like banana and stick it down his pants, and we would take shots like publicity shots, and he would just have this. And I remember it was like, and if you knew, you knew. It was so perfect. He'd walk out and be like, guys, check it. And we're like, oh.
So is there a ton of huge cock shots of Max on the internet? I'm
sure he's got a big cock. It's Max Terrio.
You didn't see it in real life?
I mean, he's got muscle on muscle.
Well,
dude.
he's just fucking.
That doesn't necessarily mean you got a big
handsome.
hog.
Wait, you never saw his hog in real life? You worked with a dude for 8 years?
I think he's got a piece on him.
Okay.
Yeah. I think
We'll investigate. I'll send Street Gonzo out there, and he'll pull it. He'll
I
fucking.
think
Hey,
he did.
yeah.
I think he rested his balls in like on a pool table one night, just randomly.
Yeah, which you have to.
Yeah,
That's just
Max
bros
Terrio.
being bros,
Yeah.
dude. And then you start sucking it a little bit, and you're like, stop, dude. I'm not going to come in your mouth. All right. Fuck, don't tell anybody, okay? That's dudes being dudes.
I remember when with Max, like I said to him, because he's one of the nicest kids in the world, and he doesn't ever get stressed out, upset, and he's just a stud. And I remember I was saying to him, like, dude, if you can sing, we can't be friends. Because, like, God just likes you way more than everybody else.
Too much.
You camera, you pop, you just, everything is like, I'm like, can you sing? He's like, yeah. And then I heard him sing. I'm like, okay, well, it's not amazing, but because you look the way that you do, it sounds fantastic.
Angelic.
Yeah. But
Well, it's like Jared Leto, but here's the problem: when you can do all that stuff and you're handsome and everything, then you end up starting some weird cult.
Did
You
he
know what I
start a
mean?
cult?
Bob, you want to pull up those photos?
We got to show the photos now. I mean, you
Really?
guys are in Hollywood. What the fuck?
I'm not-
You don't know this?
I haven't heard of
He's
this.
got a cult.
He lives in-
It's got a sex island.
He lives in South Carolina,
South
dude.
Carolina. I
well,
left-
now.
Yeah.
But I mean, you lived in Hollywood forever, AJ. I don't want to hear your bullshit.
yeah, but
Tyler,
I left.
you're still in LA.
Is this
I think.
real?
In
Yeah,
Orange
he's got like
County.
this
Yeah.
harem of women where
Look at this.
he does these events and stuff. It's very odd.
So
and I don't think
he's-
any of the men are let inside.
Yeah, he's taking like a Christ-like figure. The husbands kind of have to chill on the outside of the wall. Zoom in on that pic, Bob, because we're really not doing it justice here.
I believe James Franco tried this and it didn't work out very well.
Yeah.
No, he talked about that the other day
mean-
too, man, and he regrets it.
This
You
looks
know?
Yeah,
like
we all make mistakes.
like the pictures look like something from like the History Channel or something.
Yeah.
It looks
Sure do.
fake.
It looks like AI, but these are real women.
It's not. There's another one where he's like at. I don't know if he's at a podium or something, but they're all sitting on chairs.
Yeah, he gave a speech.
Underneath an awning, and he's just talking to him.
I mean,
Yeah.
What's the?
What is he talking
Yeah,
about?
yeah, exactly.
I don't
do you
know.
mean?
I don't know. Yeah, here it is.
Reverse cowgirl.
Look at that.
There he is, right there. Boom. Look at him
Oh,
speaking.
my
Look
God.
look at young Christ speaking.
Man, he is beautiful though. It's pretty. It's
I'm
uncomfortable.
not saying I'm Jesus, but look at me.
Yeah.
Look at him, dude.
He's got shades
I
on
mean,
too.
that whole look is definitely a choice.
It sure is.
Yeah.
He didn't wake up looking like that.
Well, I saw-
No.
He kind of dressed something that's similar. What's that weird thing that they all go to the fashion thing and they all wear the weird outfits?
The Met
And
Gala?
Met Gala.
Met Gala, yeah.
I saw him do something there, and he had like sort of a crown, like a thorn crucifix
Yep.
thing on that. Remember that? And I was like,
Crown
whoa.
of Thorns.
Yeah.
1 year, the theme I think was Catholicism
Oh,
or
it was.
religion. So I'll
Okay.
try to
But he
find that
went-
one.
So he chose Jesus.
So what was
Yeah,
what
well,
was,
so did those guys. They're both Catholic
Yeah.
back there,
Yeah.
so they're big.
what was the theme at the Grammys this year? Was it houses?
No, it wasn't. It was the burned down house that Homeboy wore on his head. Yeah.
Really?
Is that what that was supposed to be?
I don't know, but what else would it be? Is it
You
it's either that or Tim
gotta
Burton,
get
right?
the fuck out of there. Yeah, there it is. So like he's got a Christ complex because he's Jesus in a lot of places. Now, Bob, go back to that other pic with those girls and let's start zooming in here. Let's go to the one before it, or the one right after it, where he's giving the speech there, because some of them look young in the crowd, and this looks like a NKOTB event, New Kids on the Block. Zoom into these people here. God, I mean, you're right on the edge. And how has he never gotten taken down for this? Holy shit, there's a Down syndrome one right there. Look at that guy in the middle.
I think that might just be a 5 head. But yeah, there's like,
that's a touchdown.
There's a lot of like younger and middle-aged and older women there too. So it's not just like, I don't think it's a harem. I think he really believes that he's spreading some kind of message to these people.
Is it a message or...
Well, technically, there's DNA in your semen, obviously, and DNA is
infinite genetic information.
Yeah,
there you go.
It's like I think every ejaculation is like
spreading the news,
spreading information.
So maybe he's spreading the good news.
Yeah, the real good news. But as I'm looking at this photo, Bob, show this one more time. I think so. When I said earlier, the husbands and the boyfriends had to stay outside. Apparently, if your brother though has Down syndrome, he can come in and chill for a little bit. Because let's face it,
he's got no chance.
And he's not going to ask in.
Here we go.
It's just like
the average human ejaculation contains 15.8 terabytes of information.
There it is.
Are you serious?
There it is. Yeah, dude. Yeah, you can download that into your brain here in
or
about
into your
3
mouth.
to 5 years. Yeah, or in your mouth,
or your ass, or whatever.
Or in your mouth. You can Starlink it right into your brain, dude. Pretty soon. But good. You know what? I now want to say good for Jared Leto for letting the touchdown in there. That little guy.
That's white radio.
It is.
Yeah.
And they said, you know what, man? I know I'm gonna fuck your sister later and do horrific things to her.
You just got to give him something to do. You tell him to guard the door.
Right.
You know
but you're going to
so
stand
he feels a sense of purpose
outside the door.
Yeah. He's bringing them close. Smart. It's a good tactic.
Because that's a military tactic, right?
You give him one of those toys where you have to catch the ball in the cup and it's on a string.
Yep.
And you just let him fight. Just, hey, do this, watch the door, here's a fucking pizza.
Wasn't that season 3, episode 6 for you guys? Where you guys put the Down syndrome kid in Syria, like outside of a door or something? It wasn't in there?
No, that was MASH.
Okay. Yeah, I was watching I might have been watching a different show.
My guys did at the 2005 Iraqi elections before I got there, but they were working security at an election site, and a woman with Down syndrome holding a baby walked in and fucking command detonated.
Are you serious?
Somebody, yeah, so some Hodge fucking put a vest on her and sent her into with a fucking baby.
No way. The baby live?
No.
Man.
No, I didn't.
Did the Down syndrome lady live?
No, but whenever somebody detonates an S-vest, not always, but most of the time, their head fucking goes up in the air and it stays intact. You ever notice that?
Stop it.
It's weird. Because all the energy is
It's
out.
the first thing to pop off.
Yeah.
Is it really the head?
It just pops off.
I mean, generally, it also depends on the exact placement of the vest and everything. But generally, if you think of on the chest, the head's just going to bloop. I mean, the neck is
the pressure just pops it right off.
The head goes
Yeah.
off. Yeah.
Do you still say the victim is down? Like after in a situation like that, Tyler? I want to make you as uncomfortable as I can today.
That's impossible. That's impossible.
I've already
So
started
what do you do with the head?
Well, you try to keep it up for 3 hits.
Oh, is that what it is?
But the third hit has to go over
It's a
the
volley.
net. Otherwise,
Oh my god.
Did you have to tell him stories like this on set all the time?
No, I mean, we really generally, maybe in the beginning,
I asked a lot of questions.
Yeah,
I was
maybe
very,
in the
I was
beginning.
very
probably
excited.
not about any of this.
We got
shit.
to a rhythm, though, after probably season 1, where it was just not a ton of new stuff came up, I would say, after doing, 22 episodes the first season. There wasn't, I mean, sometimes.
Well, I'm going to be honest
sometimes
with you.
stuff
I've been
would come
best friends with him for a decade. That's the first time I've ever heard the Down syndrome story. So, yeah, dude. I feel like I'm always learning every day.
You never ask.
I mean, I can see that. Yeah.
Is that something you would ask?
Yeah,
'Cause I
like
didn't think that's something that'd be possible.
Usually when I meet a new person, like, hey, have you ever seen a retarded person die in a weird way?
Yeah. And then,
It's
boom.
a standard.
You either have a story or you don't, and then you can move on.
And then you've got that a rabbit up your sleeve. Here it is. Here's the Down syndrome. And he's got a bowling bag. Is that what's in it?
This joke will only make sense to Tyler, but I'm up, he sees me, I'm down.
Yeah, that's a pretty good one.
Yeah.
All the military people got it. Well, maybe just the Army. I'm not sure if it's
I don't know if anybody else actually says that.
It's definitely an Army thing.
Yeah.
Actually, you know what? Now that you mention it, somebody told me that the Marines say something different.
They
can't
probably
remember
do
what
it.
was.
Crayons.
But yeah, it wasn't I'm up, he sees me, I'm down. I forget what it was, but
With the way the series ended, are you happy? This is a debate we've had on all of our shows for years and years.
About
and years.
every series.
Every single series where it's usually not satisfactory. Were you guys amped with the ending of it?
I'll say I wasn't.
I wasn't.
No shit.
I wasn't. No, but
I think the thing. I will
but-
say this:
yeah.
they had written the show to go into season 8, and at the very last minute, they'd written the show to go into season 8, so they'd already broke season 7, and at the last minute, the writers were forced. Tyler was in the writers' room in the last season. Yeah. They were forced to then figure out how to end the show suddenly while we were just about to start production. Yeah. So they did, for what they were handed at that last minute, I think they did a phenomenal job. But in hindsight, if everything was to go perfect and us sort of go out the way that we're going to go, I think there could have been it could have been a better way. But that being
what was the way you were going to go out?
Yeah, what did you want?
Strangle baiting?
Well, we'll start with you. Yeah, strangle baiting.
So as AJ just said, like I wasn't happy with the way the season ended. I think it was as good as could have been for what we had. But as AJ said, I was in the writer's room. We had finished the entire season with the expectation, based on what we were told, that there was going to be a season 8. So we had set up a final season, and then they came and they're like, and it was because of the strike. So it was, look, and I get it. It's not CBS or Paramount's fault. It was a business decision, and I get it. I don't know the numbers or anything, so it made sense to them, and I get that. But it was tough from a creative standpoint. The business is always going to ultimately control the creative because it's about
that show. Honestly, the show could have lived on because there's always a war, and you could have just had us fade off and bring in a new.
Well, with the theme of the last season being about fentanyl trafficking and stuff, for the most part, that could have continued for years. To be honest, because that's about to actually get hot.
We were setting up the potential for more low intensity conflict missions for season 8.
Like in the introduction of Bo. Bo was really, I think, even when Bo came on, who's an awesome guy. He lives in Texas. Yep. You guys should get him on the show.
Not far from here.
Awesome guy. And when he first signed on, he was under the impression it was going to be for 2 seasons, and his character and his introduction, and then he was sort of the young blood of the show. So
he was the new Max.
Yeah. So I think for him getting an opportunity and then finding out that it's not, I think would be definitely a buzzkill.
Yeah, what we wanted was when they said, okay, the show's ending, we're like, okay, can we go back and rewrite it? And again, it was a financial thing, and they were like, no, you can, you got 2 episodes to end it, and we're just like, oh my god. So
well, as writers, let me ask you this: can you sacrifice your salary and say, hey, dude, I'll do this for free because I want to do it for the fans? I would have.
I don't even think,
pressure.
Yeah, I don't even think if that. I mean, the answer is no. There's
all the shit that you had, all the set stuff that you would have. I
don't even think you could do that.
Well,
because you're gonna, as you know, you're gonna run into union rules and all that stuff. But
fuck those guys.
Yeah, I mean, that's I mean, there's certain things that are. There's a lot of things, as you know, that you're cuffed in the movie or TV making process, and. What I wish would have happened, I'll tell you what I wish would have happened.
Thank you. That was my next question.
I wish what would have happened is they would have said, hey, guys, this season's this season. Leave it as written. And we're green-lighting the movie that we said we were going to make that we then went back on and made disappear. We're going to come through with that promise.
Yeah, so a lot of series have done that recently. So would that be something you're open to?
Well, who owns the IP? Is it just CBS?
CBS and Paramount, but they're going through a sale right now.
And by the way, I do think that stuff with CBS and Paramount and the merger, Skydance, that had started around this time. So I absolutely personally
and Paramount stock was like in the tank.
Oh, dude, it was like
because of the strike and stuff.
$1.
The strike fucked up so many.
The strike.
Things.
The show ended. The show didn't get a season 8 because of the strike. No doubt about it. It's not.
I mean, there was. I was told like in end of season 5 or 6, I was pulled in and they're like, hey, we're thinking about doing a spinoff with you, taking the Sonny character, we're going to retire you at the end of 8.
But he's gay.
Yeah, super gay.
Second half gay.
Aggressively gay though.
Yeah. And I saw that little mask over there.
The dog mask?
The dog mask.
Yeah, I wanted to wear the dog mask.
You could be a general in the Army.
I could.
Well, not anymore. Trump
Could have been.
But they talked about do a thing where Sonny would go back to Texas and then he would become a sheriff of a border town and take on the cartel.
Fuck yes, dude.
That was actually I was pitching. I was like, great, and they're like, well, write it in season 8, and then it all.
Why aren't they doing it now?
Taylor Sheridan.
You don't even have to write that in because you did kind of.
Yeah.
Like there's a pathway to.
Yeah, there was. It just kind of I don't know.
Yeah.
You can just pick that up. In a
I was
year or
very
two.
excited, and then at the end, I was like, "Man, that sucks."
Let Sheridan write the whole thing.
He's got to pay for that ranch.
Here's the
somehow.
problem.
Yeah.
Here's the problem, though. If you let Taylor write it, then you're going to end up with like a hot 17-year-old daughter that's just getting drilled all over town. Because he keeps writing this in to get like.
But he also would be married
what's
to
the-
Ali Larder right now.
Hey,
So,
That's
like,
true, yeah.
How good is Landman?
Fucking awesome,
very
dude.
good.
It's, I think it's one of the best shows ever written.
Fucking
I
awesome.
mean, it's fucking Billy Bob.
The whole
man. He's-
beer Michelob scene is one of my favorite
yeah.
scenes of.
There's a bunch of fun shit in there.
It's just, but that
and-
character, how it's just so unapologetic. It's just this.
Billy Bob's such a good.
Oh man, It's
He's great at being Billy Bob, dude.
Yeah, perfectly cast.
He nails his what he does. Like he just nails so perfectly.
And to go back to your point at the top of the show here about the ratings helping out Paramount Plus and all that shit, it did. It drove viewers over there.
Yeah.
And then all the Taylor Sheridan shit explodes. And then this network becomes like the new kind of HBO because HBO's not making shit anymore.
Well.
Then we're all subscribed to Paramount Plus.
And they own Showtime now too. So
Yeah,
it's
yeah.
uh,
like-
So I mean, I saw because everybody's bitching about Gladiator 2 right now. First of all, why didn't you see it 4 months ago in theaters when it made $500 million?
Well,
Second of all, I was unaware that those commercials they keep showing that it's on Paramount Plus.
Yeah.
It really is. Where
Yeah.
I was just like, oh shit! So people are watching it now, and it literally just came out of theaters like 2 weeks ago.
Yeah, and Paramount Plus. I mean, when we went to Paramount Plus, the show I think got its legs for the first time because we were able to push the envelope a lot more. We were able to dive deeper into the story. I feel like swear, just all sorts of stuff. I think it allowed the writers and stuff to have a lot more freedom stuff. So, I think Paramount did a lot of good things for the show. And there, I just think because it was all circumstances and timing. It was like if the writer's strike hadn't happened, if, COVID, all these different things that are never predicted.
Yeah.
This show, I think, would live on like a Law and Order, and we just keep on introducing new characters. Because, I mean, it's not arguably it is. It's the most successful military drama of all time, and that comes from the top down. It's everybody involved that got it to where it was, and Tyler and the rest of the veterans that were on the show that allowed us to tell the story. But how it was executed, with Chris Chulak and that sort of from the POV. A lot of people, and when I bring this up, like, oh yeah, that's right. Like the show is shot from our POV only. You're never with the bad guys ever. When we see the bad guys, you see the bad guys. And when people sort of see that, it's like when we're doing our CQB and all that sort of stuff, like we'd all have, the Mohawk GoPros and stuff on our guns and the set was basically a 360 set. We were shooting this. So it created a lot, that sort of first person video
Shooter.
game thing that we did. And then the stuff that we tapped on with the TBI and
Post-traumatic stress.
Post-traumatic stress. I think they did it incredibly well. That one story that with Max and Schwani was based
like
on
season 3
that was
maybe?
based on a
4?
real. You can tell the story better, Tyler.
Season
3 or 4.
3.
Yeah.
Yeah, the son of the SEAL that killed himself actually came to the set in the writer's room, and you can tell the story better, Tyler.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, that's basically it was based on some things and.
How hard was that for the father to come in and share those stories?
I was in bits.
I wasn't there when it happened, but it's an incredible story. It's I mean that's I think
That's one of my favorite episodes.
Sorry, it was season 2. That was episode either 216 or 218. I can't remember. It was Ruben directed.
Yeah.
it. That's
one of-
actually my favorite episode.
Yeah, Ruben's one of our favorite directors.
and I think it was the
I think
reason.
it's one of Max's best episodes.
Yeah, it was to me my favorite part about it was the
220.
contrast. If you watch the episode, it's either 216 or 218, but the I don't remember the name of it, but what I loved about it is the mission, the A story is us going after these dead SF guys that are killed in an ambush in Africa. They're dead, and we're being sent in, with a ton of assets for a body retrieval for dead bodies. And the B story is basically this guy who's a veteran now, former SEAL. He's having problems and he can't get the VA to basically, get help there. And the point of the story, the contrast between the A and the B story is how much the government will do for a dead body when you're still in versus how much the government will do for a live body once you're out.
Yep.
And that's the contrast between the A and the B story. And I thought that's my personal favorite episode of the show, of the series.
I remember the dad being on set and being there when they did that scene at the end in the park. I mean, it was. I mean, it really brought home to the point where they had to release a disclaimer.
That's true.
See,
There's
from
a
the
disclaimer,
VA.
I think at the end.
At the end, it was the first time our show. It was the only time we ever had a show. We were forced by the VA.
CBS was forced by the VA to put a disclaimer at the end.
So-
Really?
Yeah.
What was the
You can
disclaimer?
look at- which, by the way, I fundamentally disagree with. It was
What?
bullshit.
Yeah. What did the disclaimer say again?
The disclaimer
I mean,
says,
usually an episode like that, what the network will do is put the 988 number at the end now.
Correct.
Yeah.
Yeah, well,
No, this was more protecting the
No,
VA.
it was a different statement. So what happened
Fuck the
was
goddamn VA.
the episode was about a guy killing himself in a VA parking lot.
Mm-hmm.
The episode, a guy kills himself in a VA parking lot.
Which has happened.
No, it
in
happened,
real life,
and then
by the
3
way.
weeks later, the episode comes out. Now, of course, the VA is like, oh, they're copying this event. It's like, you morons, that's not how TV works. We
Yeah.
wrote that episode 6 months ago. We filmed it 2 months ago. Like,
Yeah.
things don't work like that. But they didn't know. So what happened was we had to put out a statement, and I'm paraphrasing, something to the effect of, the events depicted in tonight's episode are not common or
Fictionalized.
Yeah,
not
fictionalized.
they're not common within whatever it was, which was obviously bullshit, and
Yeah.
I fundamentally disagreed with it, and I thought it was.
Yeah.
I didn't agree with CBS putting it up there because we didn't get anything from the VA. We didn't get anything from the military. If we were getting military or government assets and they asked us to do that, I get it because you got to pay to play,
Yeah.
right? But we weren't getting anything from them. We weren't asking for anything from them. We didn't even get any support for them. So for them to put out a statement and CBS to do it, just I was very frustrated. I didn't agree with it.
I think at the time though too, like the show hadn't really got its legs yet.
That's true, yeah.
They were doing that dance of like we were.
Season
They
two was like a
didn't want to
middle
piss
ground.
off the military,
and they were
quite frankly,
and that there was no talk of Paramount that we were kind of on the bubble at the end of season two.
Yeah.
So I think they were doing everything because Les Moonves and they were big like internally we had major fans of the show. They're like, this is nothing that we've done before. It breaks the mold at CBS. Super supportive, but just with time slots and things and people record, you just don't understand that it's such an old archaic model where you like now what you see with like Netflix or whatever and people are watching it, they can get those numbers instantly. Was what happened to us with Paramount Plus. They were like, oh man, this is actually, they're getting like 18 million views, 20 million views. Like this is way more real than what the old school Nielsen
ratings, yeah.
Which is the dumbest system ever.
It doesn't work anymore.
Well, they
It
used
never
to put
worked.
it never worked. It was
always bullshit.
It was cable boxes that were these little Nielsen boxes.
One box represents 100,000 views.
Correct. And I think there was only like 25,000 of them around
Yeah.
America.
Yeah.
And that's what the whole rating system was based on.
And you
was
can't
25,000 boxes.
And you can't tell me that system was completely unmanipulated. Come on.
Oh, yeah.
You don't think somebody's getting paid off to leave their thing on a certain show? Come on.
The podcast system is very similar, by the way.
there you
so
go.
they can go and fuck themselves.
Chinese farms, they're just
Yeah,
like
it's
watching this
nonsense.
show. There's 4,000 monitors.
Yeah,
Like,
exactly.
view farming, baby.
But even like tackling that subject matter, especially early in the show, was very ambitious, right? Because there had been like MASH did it, but a long ass time ago, right?
Yeah.
And then nobody really tried to do that specifically until I think one episode of The Unit kind of brushed up against it, but they were more like the home versus away stuff. But no other show that I recall even looked at that, right? And you guys did. You took it to extremes, in my opinion, which not in a negative way, just like
Yeah, it was
definitely ambitious.
I mean, when we were at SHOT Show last week, when we did a signing, there was, I'd say 4 or 5 grown men that came up to us and started getting emotional, like getting choked up or just started crying, telling about how important that show was, what it meant to them, how it got them through.
Or episodes or scenes
one of the
were
best things
important.
was, he's like, I hear this a lot, he's like, my wife watched that show and I can't put into words what I went through, but when she sees that, she has a better understanding of what I've been through. And the wife, one of the times the wife was there, and she's like, it's like it brought us like back together a little, like they just had better understanding.
SEAL Team saved our marriage.
But no, seriously, like they would really, they talked about that in a really way. So it's like, it's always a weird thing when you're, because you're just part of the small part of the thing. But when you see these grown men, these tough dudes coming up and just breaking down and just saying, wow, that is it's something. It's never happened in my career being part of something that had an impact like that.
Yeah, and you can only deliver the message if you're not taking those guys out of the story, which fucking Forever magazines and hip firing will immediately do.
Yeah,
right?
yeah. The way I say it is, if you get the details wrong, the military or veterans are not gonna. They're not going to listen to the story if you get the...
It's the same thing with nerds.
Yeah.
You can't fuck it up with nerds.
Same
I just had a conversation last week with somebody about this. Nerds and military people, you can't fuck it up.
No.
Yeah.
You got to get the details right so they listen to the story and pay
we were
attention.
talking about this early. Like a guy like Justin Melnick, our kits would not have looked as good as they
he put
did.
in a ridiculous
He
amount of
put
work
it.
into
That guy. We break his balls because it's Justin, and he's
He deserves it.
He deserves it. I just talked to him 2 nights ago, by the way.
But I love the kid. But
he actually
the work
said to say hi,
that he
by the way.
did and the detail and the care that he took to make sure we
He
had
took it very seriously.
the most and I didn't understand it at the time, to be honest with you. Like, why is he obsessing about this thing or this? But it when you hear through people down the road, like, your kid, how did you? And I'm like, that was all Melnick. Like every detail to our comms to. Everything.
Yeah, we spent a lot of time and effort, it's just like I was telling somebody the other day about, like, the guns on the show. You could literally pull up any episode, you could pull up any frame, you could freeze it, point to a gun, and I will be able to tell you the reason why we chose that specific gun. Any gun in the whole show, the whole seven
Depending what
seasons.
mission,
Like
I
dig
can-
weapons and all that shit.
I can tell you why that gun was chosen. I can explain the story,
Give
the,
a scenario.
the thought process.
Give a scenario.
Yeah, I mean, well, 6 was your sniper, right? So if depending on what kind of terrain you're going in, he might take an SBR, or he may take a true.
Yeah, I
long
would
gun,
all,
right?
but I'm saying, even like, quote unquote, the bad guys, like, or I'll give you an example where we're doing a mission where we're specifically supposed to not be, or I'll give you, and I forget, I think this is season 2, but season 2, we're doing missions where we're setting up a rival cartel, so we're supposed to be a cartel blaming another cartel.
Right.
So we're now picking, cartel-esque weapons so that we could, so they would blame the cartel. So it's like each weapon, there's a reason why we chose that. If a bad guy at the end of the season, we say in his background, it may not even have been mentioned on the show, but I'm going for a guy on the end of season 7. I'm trying to remember his background, but he's basically former Honduran special forces, if I'm not mistaken. So we did research on what, and then the guy that the white guy that's there, we're saying that they worked together when they were in 7th group. So we were basically like, okay, what's the time frame that's gonna make? Okay, he was probably working together with him in the 90s. Okay, great. What were the guns used by group of you know what I mean? So there's a whole process by which we figured out logically what we thought the guns would be, and we did that same exact thinking process with the gear and the uniforms, which again, the thinking process essentially is just making sure everything is grounded in some level of thought and authenticity, and that's why the show, those aspects of the show felt like that.
That's not
because
just
we
about
put
the
that
military
effort.
though. That's theater in general. Your job as anything on the show, but especially as like showrunner, director, writer, is to make sure that all the elements. There's no element involved to include the acting that's taking somebody out of the story. Like, you don't want to break the fourth wall in that situation ever. And getting shit wrong like that breaks the fourth. For me, it does, for sure.
Yeah, I think the hard part in my experience is that most of Hollywood, in my experience, doesn't really understand that authenticity matters. And I'm not saying that, by the way, from a military standpoint. I'm saying that from every kind of storytelling standpoint. Like, I think, you look at like a Michael Mann. Why is Michael Mann's stuff good? Because he grounds it. It feels real.
It comes from the characters.
It's grounded in authenticity and realism.
Yeah.
And, if you, it's just like people, no one's going to notice no one's going to tell if that person's, tactically trained or not. And I remember one time I said to somebody, I said, look, I personally can tell you right now, I know nothing about golf, period. I know absolutely zero. But I can watch Tiger Woods and an amateur do a swing, and I'll tell you who's the pro and who's the amateur. Hell, I can watch a really good golfer and Tiger Woods do a swing. I'll be able to tell you who's the pro, right? And I know nothing about golf. people don't need to understand tactics or the military to be able to watch people and tell what looks authentic or not. Period. I don't.
Yeah, and there was a big.
I'll take a Pepsi.
Do you remember
challenge
that
on any day of the
show?
week.
It's Iron Fist. It was one of
Oh,
the.
yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
So Finn Jones, the guy he played some character in a
Yeah.
couple of seasons of Game of Thrones, right? The flower people. I don't remember
Yep.
what their fucking names were, but he goes onto this show and
That would be the Tyrells.
oh my god,
There it
dude.
is. I knew it was coming.
That's right.
I fucking knew it was coming, dude. Yeah,
nerds,
there
man.
you go. Nerd.
They were the Lords of Highgarden.
Before the first season, I don't know, and I don't know the full story, but he wasn't able to attend the training camp for some reason, right? The choreography and fight camp. Maybe it was his choice, maybe it was time. Who knows what happened? I don't want to speculate on that, but it was a problem. They had to do a bunch of jump cuts during all the fight scenes, and it sucked, right?
Because he just
He wasn't able to get through that shit, and it was a huge. That was the biggest part of every review that you saw, a critical review that you saw. Is like, it's a lot of fucking quick cuts in these fight scenes. What's going on here? You know what I mean? Because I don't know how much a fucking fight choreographer makes in a big budget thing like that, but it's a lot of fucking
A lot of money.
right?
A lot of money,
It's
yeah.
a lot of money.
Yeah.
So it's like, I mean, you think about Crouching Tiger and shit like that, but even the Bourne movies with all the fucking Krav Maga and shit, it's like they get paid a good bit.
Yeah.
And we've grown to, this isn't fucking Rambo in the 80s anymore. We expect it to look
Yeah,
good.
absolutely.
Well, I remember being in the movie theater and in the Firstborn, that phone book scene, the fight scene, and remember he has the thing and he's using it to.
Yeah.
That
Block
was,
punches
It was
and
so,
everything.
but it was all handheld. It was super claustrophobic. The sound design is like, but it was you. There was so much chaos, but you knew what was happening, and it was like so quick. And I'd never seen a fight choreographed that way.
No,
and that
or
I feel that
the
scene
Firstborn,
changed.
Doug
It was
Lyman,
great.
That
That
was
changed, yeah.
I don't know who the cinematography was on that, but they did a great
Doug,
fucking
Doug
job.
Lyman
Doug Lyman
was
directed
the
it.
director.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Did you guys ever see the original movie? It's called The Raid.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, yeah,
the
yeah.
Thai
Asian,
movie,
Asian
Thai,
film.
Thai
yeah.
film, yeah.
Yeah.
No.
No.
Oh, you guys!
Oh, dude,
it's
it's
the
a great
best
film, yeah.
action. It's like a video game.
I believe
Oh
they,
shit! The one that was like $1 million.
Yeah,
and it was an independent
and
film.
the guys
that
basically got to
exploded.
get to the
Yes.
top floor.
Dude, it was fucking
He's a SWAT
wild.
guy. Oh,
Yeah,
and
they're
he's-
in a building the whole time.
Dude, that
It's
movie
like-
was $1 million. So
Yeah.
like they had to do all that shit
It is-
themselves.
Yeah, it's a great film.
It is so good. I always thought that the concept.
I think
of,
they remade
It's on
it in the
Netflix, I
US.
think.
Well, now it is. But it was.
Yeah.
Oh, no, Amazon.
Yeah, it was an independent film that exploded
Yeah.
because of the realism and all that other shit because they
Yeah.
didn't have the money to do it.
Yeah.
So like, yeah, those people were doing it on their own.
I mean, you should always choose practical effects if you can, right?
Yeah.
If you're able to make it work.
Can
Yeah.
That was a difficult one because like those guys could have died.
But did you see? Did you see the one Chris Hemsworth Extraction?
Extraction,
The
yeah.
That was unbelievable.
It's almost like it's like there's 3 separate 45-minute long fight scenes. That's
Yeah.
the whole movie. With it, like
My
3
buddy-
pieces
Where
of
they hide
dialogue
the
between
cuts.
them. It's
My buddy
fucking
was
crazy.
Yeah.
Advisor on that.
It's
Oh, really?
so-
The tech advisor?
You were?
No, my buddy was. Yeah. Former unit guy.
Yeah. I mean, it is fucking good.
I mean,
dude.
and-
if you like shoot 'em ups,
Yeah.
I
Yeah, well,
don't
yeah,
expect a whole
obviously.
fucking deep narrative there.
There's-
But if it's a shoot 'em up,
and there was not.
no, there was not.
there was
The first scene, I was to be honest, when I saw it, the first scene, I was a little shocked. I'm like, they didn't even try and they literally show up in a helicopter like, you need to do my last mission. He's like, no, and they're like, yeah. He's like, okay. It's like,
Yeah.
That's the way it should be.
Yeah.
it's like
You
you're
know?
90
I'm like,
seconds.
you guys are going with
Establish
that?
in 90
Okay.
seconds and get on
Get
with
out
the
of
fucking
there.
Wasn't
movie.
that guy-
I didn't need a love story in Wedding Crashers. You know,
the director that was a stunt guy too. Wasn't
Yeah,
he?
I can't think of his name, but yeah.
Yeah, he's phenomenal. And I have you guys seen Extraction 2?
No,
I didn't see
Yeah,
the
it's
second one
still
yet,
good,
actually.
yeah.
I didn't see. I didn't send. I didn't
Idris
see it.
Elba in that, although
Yeah.
he wants to ban this now.
No, knives. And
Only knives with a point. You
That's
can
right.
have.
What?
Yeah, he wants. He
Wait,
says
who's he? Wait.
England should move to blunted knives. Idris
Yeah.
Elba, the actor.
What?
Yeah, he
From The
says.
Wire?
Yeah.
You know,
I think he's a great actor.
Yeah, he's
He
a
wants,
great.
he
He's one
wants
of my
to
favorite
blunt,
things, yeah.
blunts all sharp knives, so that way people aren't stabbing each other in the streets anymore.
Or you could just remove the people from
What
society who are
about
stabbing
kitchen
each other.
Yeah.
knives?
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's
that's all he was talking
If somebody's
about.
going to stab you, they're going to
So
stab you.
England's trying to ban
But
the
then you could
online
just
purchase
slash
of kitchen
everyone.
knives now. They want to check your ID at the store to give you a kitchen knife
correct.
now.
Isn't that fun?
Are you
Take
serious?
a deeper
Yeah.
breath.
Yeah.
That warrants a deeper breath. than you
Why?
just
Well, what's the logic behind it?
stab you.
Because there's a bunch of
The logic-
Muslims stabbing each other over there.
The logic is
No.
it's not the person, it's the tool, and that's just. opposite against demonstratable reality.
Every now and again, I'll set one of my guns outside on the front porch for a couple of hours and to see if it crimes anybody. I'll go back to, hey, you doing crimes? No, and just sitting there because it's a fucking inanimate
Have you shot
object.
anyone yet?
Not yet, huh?
I'll be back.
Are you criming out there? Hey,
You cramming?
you criming, boy?
You cramming? All right. But you're always learning, though. Like, if I, become a Christ-like figure who runs a sex cult, now I know that if there's a Down syndrome guy, I obviously have to bring him in to the thing now because I want it to be real.
You can learn from the
buddy.
successes and the mistakes of others.
Sure can.
You know
And
what
I
mean?
had no fucking idea. Bob, pop up that picture one more time and look at that happy.
What's that shirt he's wearing?
It's like Mickey Mouse on acid. It's kind of like Anna Nicole Smith when she painted her face like
It
a
looks
clown.
like the Toucan Sam, like the Fruit Loop character.
Beautiful.
He does look a little bit like Toucan Sam.
It could be just like Six Flags
Fruit Loops.
art. You know when you do
Maybe that's what
your
he's
own
doing.
shirts there
Oh,
at Six
yeah.
Flags?
Yeah, I do. Yeah.
Oh, you the
Spray
airbrushing
paint?
thing?
Yeah.
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 I do that at Myrtle Beach.
What about the spinning?
Like, put me on a dolphin riding a motorcycle, dude. Hell yeah.
I'll tell you a funny story about Myrtle Beach. Like my kids, first of all, I love Myrtle Beach.
Well, you live in South Carolina now.
Yeah.
And so,
So my kids, it was like winter break, and I was back just for a few days, and they were like, "We really want to go to Disneyland," and we're like. I'm like, we don't have time to, nor I didn't want to go to Disney World. I'm like, no, I didn't want to take it. It's just such a ripoff. And
It's 25 grand down the
yeah,
toilet. when you go down there, dude.
I was like to my wife, I'm like, let's go to Myrtle. Tell them it's Disneyland. And
Did you take him to Black Bike Week and tell him it's Disneyland?
we went up to Myrtle Beach, and we literally told them we were going to Disneyland. And my kids, to this day, think that they went to Disneyland.
Oh,
but it was
Shut the fuck up.
It was awesome. We're
Did
like,
you take him to the Renaissance? What's
oh
the...
yeah, the eating the
Yes.
night. Yeah, we did that. We did magic shows. We did. Oh man, it was awesome. And
They have a
and no one
Ripley's,
was there
believe it or
because it
not,
was
I think.
empty and it was cold. So
I
it was
can't
like,
wait till
we
you
like had
go
the whole
to
park.
actual Disney
with the
World, and they're
park.
like,
Yeah, you can't take him now.
I
You can't take him now.
At best, you can go Six
like, I
Flags. You
don't
can't go to real
remember any
Disney
of
World
this.
now. Because they're going to be fucking pissed. They were like, hey, who
Dude,
are
Oh,
what is
it was
this?
because they're small enough to because they just saw rides and cotton candy and go karts and stuff, and it was two of the best days ever because no one was there at all. And we had the parks to ourselves.
No lines.
It was the best. And they were like, oh, I'm like, yeah, Dad made some calls and rented the place out.
Dude, no fucking way, dude.
When I was
it
a-
was so good. And Myrtle Beach, for those who don't know, it's
Yeah.
like redneck paradise. I love it
is
there.
Redneck Paradise.
I love it there. It's so much fun.
You can get stabbed. You can do meth. You can also have a good time and
Yeah.
see some weird shit.
Yeah.
And then their jingle is top notch. I live for Myrtle Beach days, and it's like this fucking '80s band that sings it for the tourism video.
But
And
they
I'm
got like a
all in.
building with
The pirate ships.
Yeah, pirate ship, and they have buildings with King Kong hanging from it
Fuck
and
yeah,
all
dude.
that sort
Yeah,
of stuff.
it's a
as a
wild
kid,
place,
when you
yeah.
see that,
Fireworks.
like you have, and you sit down for lunch, and there's a jet boat show that happens, and
Yeah.
so they were just like,
Yeah, Disney World's awesome.
Yeah, it is,
Yeah,
dude.
yeah.
The mermaid who's all methed out who comes up to your table and you're just like, what the fuck?
Oh yeah, we saw that one.
Did you
For
take him
sure.
to Dick's Last Resort, too? Get yelled at by the wait staff?
Wearing a dunce cap.
What's up, you short
What's that
fucks?
one?
Oh, Dick's.
That's where they
Yeah.
talk
Dick's
shit
Last
to you.
Resort.
The one where they put that stupid big tall hat on your head, right? Fuck you on it or
They
whatever.
don't serve you drinks. They're late with the food.
Oh, they're just deliberately. You go there to be like
Treated
They're
like
dicks.
shit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's why it's called Dick's.
I don't know why I didn't
clever.
look for a job there when I was younger. That
Well,
would've been
I'd
genius.
say where I would love a job if we're going shitty places like that.
Yeah.
Dan and I did a gig down at what was it, the World Camping Bowl? And we passed this place in Orlando.
Camping World.
Camping World.
Yeah, in Orlando.
Yeah, dude, for the first game of the year. Who was it, Florida State or something
yeah,
like that?
that stadium sucks, too.
Sucks. But there was Delco. Did you ever go to this in college down there? There was a religious version of that's
The Holy Land?
yes.
Yeah.
Can you pop that up on screen, Bob? A picture
right.
of the
Yeah,
Holy Land?
there's video from the Holy Land where you can hear planes flying overhead. And
So, do you know where you took your kids?
Yeah.
Where it's like the Knights of the Round Table.
Yeah, yeah.
You can
There's a
the
Jesus
joust
version,
and everything else.
basically.
There's a
Well,
Jesus version
there
called
was.
Holy Land.
there was, yeah, I think.
R.I.P. It's closed.
Yeah,
It's
it
closed now?
Yeah. I think during COVID it closed down.
Fuck.
Oh man.
God damn
But
it.
I'm told there might be a second coming of it.
What is it? It'll be resurrected. Don't worry. It'll be back.
Nailed it.
I was trying to get married here, you know?
Oh God.
It's never too late, I guess.
So it's biblical Disneyland?
Yeah, so
Kind of,
what
yeah.
was on the inside? So we used to pass this every day, and we would joke about it.
I mean, I think they do.
They have characters?
There's a lot of historical stuff and characters. I think
Yeah.
there's a passion play at one part of it, which is that's the part where you see the plane going overhead and shit.
Noah's boat.
Kinda
Look
surreal.
at that. Holy shit. That's not is that Christ?
No, those
Okay.
are wise men, maybe.
All right. Because that doesn't look
Or
like the
just
Jared
random-
Leto one. Like, that
random
guy's not
Jews.
getting laid. Is that a dwarf next to him? What's
No, it's
the
just a short
story there?
man.
Like, that old man's not a dwarf or anything?
Hey, what
do you mean?
What was the story you were telling me about the medieval knights? There was like a union thing.
Oh,
yeah.
dude, this
Have
is a
you
great
guys-
story.
this is a fun
Yeah.
A
story.
union, like a fucking.
Okay, so-
they go on
so
strike.
For the Knights?
Yeah. Oh, this is
So let
funny.
me tell you how it started. And by the way, while before I start this, can we look up California or Southern California medieval times union strike or some version of that, and we'll see.
Wow.
There was a story I
Okay.
read. So I'll tell you how it started. This is during the strike I think we were pretty far months into the SAG strike. If I'm not mistaken, I think again it's been a while, but if I'm not mistaken, the SAG strike had like it had been negotiated, but it hadn't like been finalized.
Wait, these
right?
guys, the medieval time guys, are in SAG.
dude,
This is real Knights on
hold on.
strike?
Let me tell you how it happened. No.
It's so awesome.
It's better than that. So
You gotta
I
watch
see
this.
this tweet. I don't know what it was. And it was like, the SAG strike was going to come to an end. Maybe it was the writer's strike. I don't remember. And I see this like tweet at the time, and it was like, yeah, the writer's strike may be over and Hollywood may be back, but there's a real strike that's been going on twice as long, that's twice as important. I'm like, oh shit.
Yeah, what is it?
This? And I pull it up, and it's the Southern California Medieval Times has unionized, and they're on strike. And I was like,
yes.
And so then I check out the woman that had posted that. And dude, what? So it's not knights, bro. It's knights, a wizard.
Okay.
It's
the whole cast?
medieval cast that is unionized
And
and,
they're in
is
constant
basically striking. Now, here's the best part about it. This is a medieval times in Southern California. Ross, what do you think most of these people want to do?
They want to be actors.
Bingo.
That's all they're doing there.
There you go. So they're like, so I look up this woman's Twitter, Instagram, whatever, and dude, she's just going on all this like self-import, just craziness. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Where I'm like, this woman is level 10 bananas. She did this whole photo shoot. Dude, if you read it, it was the gift that just kept on giving. Dude. I just
Yeah.
kept researching.
And it wasn't parody or anything. She's
No,
legit.
I thought
This
it
is
was
all legit.
Yeah.
I mean, if it
Now-
was, that would have been like
Yeah.
Andy
now,
Kaufman level.
here's
shit.
the thing. In their defense, like I read, like I was unemployed at the time. I had the time, right? I read a bunch of articles, but the Knights. I'm like reading the Knights like statement. I'm like,
They get pretty
dude,
messed
they're
up.
getting fucked up there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I'm like, all right, dude. Like these guys, I'm like, I get it. They're getting hurt. They're getting injured.
But the wizard.
Yeah, I was just like, all right.
Would
like,
you get a spell redirected?
yeah, I was
Caught a
totally.
ricochet.
Usually
I
not
was in the
fast.
night personally. I was in the Knights' corner of their kind of
Yeah.
fighting for better wages with how dangerous the job is. I'm like, I get it. I've done stunts. Like even if you don't get hurt, dude, they're literally getting
Well, they
hit with
do
metal
you've been
swords
to before,
every
like
day.
Oh, yeah.
the
Dude,
they rock
jousting,
each other with
and
some big
the
ass
jousting,
things.
they come in and
Fuck
run
yeah,
each
They're
other.
getting
That's
jacked
legit.
up
Yeah.
every day, and they're basically saying, "Look, dude, we don't, we're getting broken again." Having done, been on camera doing stunts for the last 7 years at the time, I'm like, I get it, dude. Like, so that I was like, okay, I'm cool. But then you just see the other people that are like jumping on to this strike. You can't make
It's
it
comedy.
up.
Well, a lot of people don't know this, but Ross did 4 tours of Italy.
At Olive Garden. So
He's got manicotti shells
I
stuck
would
in
have.
his
I
legs.
would have been on strike as well.
Yeah.
'Cause it's dangerous.
Well, he's got.
At Olive Garden?
What's up?
Were you waited at Olive
Oh
Garden?
yeah, 4 tours. 4 tours of Italy. It's
Wow.
at Olive Garden. Yeah.
He's got manicotti
I was
shells
crew
stuck in
chief
his
at
legs.
What's a
McDonald's.
tour?
Were you really?
I was crew chief, man.
What's a tour?
Yeah.
It's like 2 months, man. Like,
Really?
Yeah, 4 tours of Italy lasts like 2 months. It's like a 60-day special.
Okay.
So yeah,
Did you sing?
now it's just a part of the menu. So like, I don't really get the come up. Like I don't get what I deserve.
Did you
here,
sing the
but-
song?
There was no song. However, the honor Chianti,
Yeah.
I would go table by table. If the people were cool, I'd look the other way. If they weren't, well, sorry, but I saw you drink 8.
Yeah.
You wrote down 6.
Yeah.
So you do what you want to do here, or you can throw that tip my way.
I'm bringing it.
Yeah.
I'm bringing
But
it.
I saw you drink 8,
So
motherfucker.
Tyler, you probably feel pretty embarrassed talking about your military service now, to be
Yeah.
honest, after what he just said.
Fucking loser. Show him your arm.
You just-
put his arm up to camera here. Yeah, the one that got all fucked up.
You
Now
just-
look at mine, dude. Because I was holding trays, brother. Table of fucking 8. Chicken parm.
As I said to you earlier, Dan, there's always somebody that's done more than you.
Yeah,
You know,
exactly. And it's good to be humble anyways.
It
man.
is.
It is, man.
I mean,
It is.
Tyler is the most humblest person I've ever met in my life. He's always down.
That's-
with
He
it.
actually
Absolutely
is.
He really
That's
is.
true.
He's like, I
Go give me that flag of Italy to wrap around myself for the rest of the show. let me cradle myself here on air.
I love it. Dude.
But these nights, by the way, is my wife
So
still
did they
here?
end up winning?
She gone. Is my wife gone,
No.
by the way?
He just fizzled out.
Hey, since you told that story,
He
she's
just
gone.
gave
right?
up.
Jesse's out of here?
Once
Okay,
the
good.
wizard left.
Yeah, sure, yeah. It was holding
AJ,
them all
real,
together,
real
yeah.
quick, since my wife is gone, I don't know if she's back editing or whatever, dude. I did a similar thing.
You're
She's
here.
she is here? Fuck.
You're
Fuck.
You're fucked.
All right, I'll
You're
tell a
fucked
story.
now.
So I'll tell it. I didn't have a lot of money at the time, but I had tickets to this thing, and I was on a date in Vegas, and because of the comedy and the stand-up and all that, I was just like, oh man, I can play it off like we're going to the Excalibur. And we're staying. It was the cheapest place in Vegas that was an actual room. It wasn't like the Westward Ho.
Or Circus.
Because you have the chance to spend the money on the tickets for something or this. So I was like, well, fuck it. And then I spun the whole thing off like it was a joke. But then I had to go to the dinner. I had to go to the thing and do the whole Excalibur thing at the hotel in the middle of it there. And I never told that date to this day of like, I just didn't have enough money for this fucking bullshit.
She knew.
So
I'm going to go out on a
You
limb
think
and say she
you think
absolutely
she
fucking knew. Yeah.
She knew.
I think the comedy element of it, though, like, was
No.
the fun part, and she was just like, yeah, she was along for the ride, and it was good.
No, she accepted the comedy excuse for that shitty date in the same way that you accept her shitty personality because she had big titties, right? This is how men and women work.
Yeah.
It's fine. Right?
Probably.
Just know who everybody in the relationship is.
But because we'd stayed there for 3 days, I got to meet some of those people. So I got to meet some of the knights and things. I can confirm what you're saying. They really did get hurt.
Yeah.
There's people that are jousting, actually joust.
Yep.
The chain link, whatever shit they wear.
Chainmail.
Yeah.
Is that what it's called?
Yeah, chain link, yeah.
Yeah, they said
heavy.
it depends on who would get the thing because they weren't all the same size. They'd kind of have to swap out the gears.
I mean,
so
it's-
like
yeah.
sometimes you were taking
yeah.
blades to the shoulder or whatever it was. No, they were dull.
But it's
Just
still
like-
getting hit with a metal
Correct.
sword.
Because sparks
you know?
are flying.
Yes.
Like, yeah.
Yeah.
And it's they're like Idris Elba swords. They're all dull. They're all blunted, obviously.
They're
so nobody's
nerfed.
getting killed.
Nerf swords.
And then the other thing too was one of them had told me that behind the scenes, like because they all work together for so many years and do the thing and everything else, that they're all fucking.
I don't doubt it at all.
I mean,
they-
that's the
they've-
case in any small group of people like that.
But in
Politics.
this-
Especially when you're jousting, though. It just
But it-
heightens the
yeah.
senses.
It's like, hey, we might die tomorrow.
But they also said they had groupies that would show up.
In costume?
No,
Oh my
not in
God,
costume.
that's-
But they had their own tables, so like they would sit at the same table. They would sit at the same thing.
And
They
they,
would
they throw
night-
the rose.
night-
They would
Night
root for
host.
the knights.
These are
Night
Renaissance
host.
fair people.
Yes, but they would root for their
These are
section of
Delco's
knights.
people.
Yeah.
Delco does it.
Yeah.
Yep.
night host.
Is there Renaissance?
He takes
fair?
mushrooms and goes to the Renaissance fair.
And they
Dude,
did
I
have
heard
their favorite
those
actors, by
are
the way.
crazy,
Really?
by the
Yeah.
way.
Because you have like the Knight of the North, the Knight of like
Correct.
and then
there was one guy who was super good looking, and they were like,
and he has the flowers. You throw him the flowers.
correct. He was the Jared Leto of the thing,
Yeah, yeah.
and like they were like his section was always packed, and then they got in a fight because it was like, oh man, there's not enough people cheering for blue or red or whoever the
Yeah.
knight was, and it's a whole like weird underground. Like pop up that picture one more time, Bob. Like all of this is fucking true. Like it's a dark, weird underground world of this, and
because they also speak in that like weird accent thing that they do in like the like
Midi-
Totally
Monty
manufactured.
Python.
Nobody has ever spoken like
Yeah,
that
the
in
Monty
real life.
Python type of
Right? Like we don't know.
Knights of the Round Table.
We don't.
Yeah.
We have this. This is the same thing with impressions for Howard Cosell, by the way. Like you can hear him talk, and it's kind of like that, but everything else is a caricature, and our impression of him is a character. It's not the real Howard Cosell.
Right.
We have no idea how people in the 1500s sounded. We had no way of capturing that. So some asshole in the early part of the 20th century just made it up, and we've been making them sound like retards. For
Forever.
100 years now.
know.
Yeah.
Can you imagine like your grandpa, great grandpa's up like, I don't fucking sound like that, you little bitch.
I want to think he did though. You know,
It would be funnier if he did.
Welcome to the Knights of the Round Table.
And to be fair, the early sports broadcasters did have a very affected, weird ass accent. Like, oh, coming up next to the plate
Yeah,
What Billy?
the 40s.
The Mid-Atlantic accent.
Yeah, the Mid-Atlantic.
Yeah.
They actually went to
Jackie
school for
Robinson
it.
up to the plate.
Yeah, but they went to school for that, and it was like a whole sportscasting
But
class.
even if you look at like the early TV shows, like hey kid, look at me,
20s accent
you know, like
was
they just had like the old detective
Yeah.
shows and stuff.
Oh
like,
yeah,
There was some
like-
kind of weird
Yeah,
pacing
coming
to
over
it,
here,
yeah.
you see?
Yeah.
Yes,
know?
yeah. There was.
You
like,
should start talking like that in your real life.
you should.
Nobody can stop you.
Yeah.
Start talking to your girlfriend like that. You know?
Yeah, I'll give it a shot.
Hey, Susie, why don't you come on over here and give me a sandwich before I pop you in the beak?
Hey, babe, come over here, okay?
Yeah, slap her in the biscuit. Whatever it is, like, and I love it. But now that it's all over for you guys and SEAL Team and all that other stuff, what are you working on right now? I know you've got a production company, and you're always got scripts with you somewhere.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's got one tattoo on the small of his back. Actually,
yeah?
I was reading it earlier. But
Full
I ran out of
memento.
time, yeah.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes,
He'll
yes,
forget
yes.
it otherwise.
Things are, I can't say what it is, but I sold my first show, so I have to wait till that comes out. But to a big place, and I'm really excited about it. It's something I put together by myself, and sort of jumped on it and just hustled to get it done, and it brought all the people together, and it's one of those. It just it's one in a million chance of it happening, and all the stars aligned. So I'm really excited, and I will be very happy to talk about it once it's announced. But it's definitely it's one thing I'm like, wow, I finally, because you know better than anybody how many fucking times you get so close to like the deal closing and then it just
Falls apart.
So this knock on wood hasn't fallen apart, and I'm really excited about that. But what I'm incredibly excited about is our new show and new podcast that we have, Two Fake Seals.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Tell us all about that because, like he was saying earlier, it's true. When we hang out in real life, people actually think you're really military.
Yeah, it's so conceptually when the China balloon was over South Carolina, and our neighbors were literally, my phone was blowing up. They're like, AJ, what's going to happen? What are we going to do? And I'm like, man, I don't know. Like I'm on a text thread, and they're like, what are we doing, AJ? I'm like, guys, I am an actor. Okay, I wear makeup. I have a stunt double that makes me look a badass. I'm usually in my trailer when he's kicking ass. So I'm like, I don't know. And they still, but they just don't hear it. They want me to be like, all right, so this is what's going to happen. You know?
Yeah.
And still to this day, they will ask me random questions. So when I was telling Tyler this, I was like, maybe there's like a show here where post SEAL Team, because you've grown up like reading survivalist books since you were 10, and you understand this world from survivalist to actual practical warfare and urban warfare. Why don't we do something where you are teaching me actually how to fucking do all this shit, and the audience is learning through my eyes, and we'll take away the doom and gloom side of it, but do it through through humor, and sort of that. And then it sort of Tyler came up with the name. He's like, I got the name, Two Fake Seals, and I was like, perfect. He's played a SEAL 6 times.
4 or 5 actually.
So he's always played. So he's a fake SEAL. I'm a
Well,
fake
the's a lot of IP out there since everybody with a haircut writes a fucking book, right?
There you go.
Yeah.
Which is fine, good for them. I'm glad for them.
And so we started shooting some stuff, and then there's a TV side of it that hopefully we'll hear some good news over the next day or two on it. But in a sense, we partnered with Ford and Total Off Road. We pick up the truck. We fly to Baton Rouge, pick up the truck, driving it back to
we fly
South
out
Carolina.
tonight. Yeah.
They're doing a full rebuild on it, and they're building a mobile podcast studio, like an overland vehicle. We'll have the studio inside the truck. We'll have a follow vehicle.
The Big Richard.
The Big Richard.
That's awesome.
So you got seamen inside the Big Richard.
Sure.
Two fake seamen in the Big Richard. And then we'll have our UTVs, toy things that'll be the Little Richards. And we'll drive across the country, stopping at survivalists, preppers, just me learning how to do it.
Cool companies, cool people. It's really
yeah.
just getting out there and just really getting on the ground. We didn't want to, when we were talking about doing a podcast, you guys, we both know so many people that are doing good, cool content and good podcast. And we were like, well, what can we offer the space that's not really currently being done? And that's where we kind of came up with the idea of, dude, let's get on the road and really drive to different groups of people, whether, like I said, it's a company that's, or a nonprofit that's doing something amazing. Let's just get out and go to people.
Like America's dirtiest jobs, but with two fake seals.
Exactly.
That's awesome. Yeah. And I think post-COVID, a lot of people, because one of our sponsors is this company called GhostBed. I think you saw one out in the lobby. It's for the Super Bowl show coming up. But they're doing mattresses now for Sprinter vans and things like that. Because a lot more people want to get out. They want to drive across America.
Yeah.
I think with Trump getting in and everything else, too, it's like, oh, all right, shit.
Yeah.
I'm able to go places and
Yeah.
talk to people, and everything's a lot more open than it used to be.
The overland community, I believe, from during COVID, from now it went from like a $2 billion market cap to a $46 billion market cap in like 4 or 5 short years. Everybody is like getting out there and doing so. Us sort of getting to the overland space, into the survivalist space, and again telling the story through my eyes as a dad, not as AJ the actor, as a dad that just wants to learn how to survive. What do you do in these situations? As Tyler said, it's only an emergency if you don't prepare. And then even Tyler was like, it was this great thing, like, you know, so many people have bought fucking
Go bags.
and they have it.
$10,000 go bag.
Oh my God!
They have the stuff.
I
And
just read that article yesterday. The one on Amazon is exploded.
Instead of a go bag, you should have a stay bag, because almost certainly you're actually going to be bunkering down in your own fucking house.
Well, that's what
by
he
the
said.
way.
Bro,
said.
I did. You're preaching the choir. I have a whole thing on that. The
Build a
get out and
fortress.
go is a pipe dream, and we're going to do an entire episode on it. It doesn't make any sense. It's not logical. Most people's concept of prepping or survival or preparedness, self-reliance, is just not based in reality. It's based in fantasy, and so
Like if you go out to the woods, what are you gonna fucking do when you go out to the woods?
it's like even if you went to the woods, there's not enough animals today to eat, for even people that are already there to hunt and live off the land. It's a ideal based on a time that was done long ago, and people aren't really thinking of it in current reality terms. And the reason that we're really getting into this, first of all, as AJ said, I've been into this space since I was a kid, and the reality is it used to be viewed as kind of a outlier, odd, weird space, but now post-COVID, post half of LA burning down, post you know, all these crazy things that have happened, the hurricanes and all these things, people have finally realized, dude, this could happen here at any time. You know, anything can happen at any time. And so I think there's an appetite for a level of preparedness that there never has been prior.
There is, and I'll tell you a quick story. So one of my best friends from college, same thing. After COVID, him and his fiance decided to get this Sprinter van. They travel in it, sleep in it, all that other stuff. Lives in Los Angeles. When the fires happened, he actually had all the shit on him, was able to leave safely, and he was prepared for the outside world because he had been doing it for the last 3 years, ever since COVID kind of ended. And you're right. Nobody's really shown us how to do it on a day-to-day basis.
Well, the more likely,
have.
unless there's a fucking nuclear bomb or a fire, only in those two instances would you actually want to leave where you are.
Yeah.
Every other time you want to fucking bunker down.
Bunker down. It's like that first 72 hours of a disaster is like are the most crucial things to make the proper decisions to keep safe. And then if something like even with, and you said this, Tyler, having your go bag, you're not going to be, there's 99% chance that when shit happens, you're not going to be in the place where your fucking go bag is.
I keep mine in my car so I can get myself and my car and anybody that's with me back to my fucking house.
It's all about having things to get you to the next higher level of preparedness.
And you
your
said,
car
like an
should get
infantryman,
you
you're
to
always
your home,
improving your
home.
fucking fighting position.
Exactly.
That's it.
And one of the cool things when we're sort of conceptualizing everything is like really understanding mindset. You know, that you know, if you look at every survivor story that's made it through sort of a crazy experience, anything, it's their mindset of how to get through. So it's learning that your go bag. I was when Ty was like, "What's in your go bag?" I'm like, "I don't know. I just bought it. I don't know what's in it."
The best go bag with a weak mindset is going to lead to a dead person.
Oh yeah,
right.
100%.
The person with an amazing hard mindset without anything is going to survive. And so the question and the really key is we're going to train every aspect, but one of the things we're going to focus on is really teaching mindset because that's the most important.
Like priorities and such. I mean, just look at Maslow's hierarchy of needs. Start there.
Yeah.
Here are the things you need to fucking survive.
Number
Figure
one.
out, like, have 5 ways in your head that I can get a clean source of drinking water, for example. You know what I mean?
How do you
Stuff
filter
like
it?
that.
And then, by the way, to your point, Bob, can you pull up? So I was up super late writing last night, and as we're preparing for these shows, I'll read everything, like Fox, CNN, all of it, right? So I'm on, Bob, go to CNN.com. I literally just read this article last night. I was shocked to see it on CNN. Pull it up for the audience here so they can see it. Sorry for the audio people, but if you scroll down to the bottom of the page, there'll be a thing underneath that ad, and it's called Editor's Picks. Keep scrolling down there. Boom, there it is.
Underscore
the first,
right there. So it says, we tried the viral Amazon travel backpack and it lives up to the hype, and it talks about the go bag, right?
Yeah.
And then underneath it, unfortunately,
Going where?
bug out bags are increasingly necessary. These are the best. What the fuck is a bug out bag?
It's the same. It's a go bag, but it doesn't mean you're. Where the fuck are you bugging out to, bitch? Like unless you
it's a whole can of
unless you're
worms.
by yourself or with other men, like grown men, not women and children, but other men.
Yeah.
And you're planning on doing what you should do in that situation, which is find the side of a fucking mountain to be on, so it's hard to get to you and shit. Then there's all this is dumb. It's all dumb and pointless.
Yeah,
you got to fucking
the concept.
make your house stronger.
The concept of the bug out bag is like a. And I'm just gonna say this: it's almost like a Red Dawn era concept of leave and go to the mountains.
Didn't you say
or
that,
the mob. Like if you're on the run from the cops, sure, have a bug out bag.
Harrison Ford?
Have some cash and
The
a couple
fugitive.
passports and whatever. Yeah.
But the fact is CNN has this on their
that's
homepage.
pretty crazy.
That's their editor's pick.
Yeah.
And that's CNN. It's not
Yes.
Fox or
Nope.
that's
It's nothing, dude. It's CNN.
But
That's
did-
crazy.
Didn't you
Times are
say, Todd,
changing.
did you say, Todd, too, when you were doing security for the high net worth, like Fortune 100 people, that they would, Ty would walk them through it? Was like you would.
Yeah, I mean, I've been guarding like literal billionaires. That'd be like, look at this bug out bag I got. It's 10 grand, and I'm like, have you ever opened it?
What'd they say?
No.
Do you know how to
I'm
apply
like,
pressure dressing?
No, they literally don't know how to
Have any
use
idea?
it. But again, it's for them, they don't know what they don't know. So what they're buying it for, when you have that much, this is what I saw. When you have that much money, the only thing they can prepare for is like a catastrophic event. Because
Like a bunker?
Well, no, just think about it. You're a billionaire. Nothing financial is going to affect you in any way. So the only thing that could affect you is a major, like, world-ending event. So it's
Yeah.
like they spend all this time and money preparing for the only thing that could affect them. So weirdly, if you look at, like, billionaires, in my experience, they start to, like, become preppers just because they have nothing else to worry about.
So if you guys could do one of these, it'd be awesome because that is what all these rich ass people are doing is building these fucking bunkers.
Yeah.
Is it Zuckerberg, Bob,
Yeah,
that's
Hawaii,
building
yeah.
the one in Hawaii?
We're going to be going to different people's bunkers because we found these.
It's
this
cribs
place
with
in,
bunkers.
There's also we found these people in Oklahoma,
Yeah.
the old missile silos that they've turned into Airbnbs.
yeah. Yes.
That you can
Apartment complex,
or there's this one company that has like 500 acres and it's a bug out place that you go to if there is some sort of natural disaster. And
there's a bunch of
you
cool
buy
ones.
the property, but it comes fully stocked. To get
There's a
there.
lot of bomb shelters and shit still in America.
Yeah.
There is.
From the fucking 50s, 60s,
Yeah.
70s.
And one is on
You can buy them for like 150,000.
well, one was on. God, Zillow spun off a show for HGTV, and the guy from the blonde-haired guy from 30 Rock is hosting it. Jack McBrayer.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
One of the houses for sale there. It's called Zillow Mania. Or
He's
something like
hosting that show? That's
It's
weird.
super weird.
That's a weird choice.
The first
I mean, I like it, but
episode,
that's a weird choice.
They go to this fucking bunker and they're trying to sell this bunker for like $750,000.
Wow.
And so he goes down into it and he's just like, it's in one of those. It's like
Yeah.
Oklahoma or
Yeah,
in the middle of
the
nowhere.
flats, yeah.
And he goes, and they were like, "What? Like, can you actually live in here?" And they were like, "No. People have lived in here for years and years, and they keep forever, I guess."
Yeah.
And I was like, "What the fuck? I'd never heard of it."
Yeah, isn't that a Brendan Fraser movie?
It's what it sounds like, but they went through the whole thing, and he slept down there. And I guess the sound, because there's no sound down there, it's so peaceful.
It's dampening, yeah.
Yeah.
It sounds, it's like a dull noise.
But now I think Obama is like built some crazy one.
Of course, yeah.
Zuckerberg
Yeah.
built a
Exactly.
crazy
Both
one.
in Hawaii.
Yeah.
Both in Hawaii,
Yeah.
yeah. And they're spending all this money in case another COVID or some other disease or something like that happens.
Well, it's not going to stop me from getting in there.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Sorry, man.
the old bunker buster.
Yeah.
The Ring doorbell? It's
A
me,
motivated
Dan,
man
over
with a couple of tools, no fucking amount of planning you're going to be able to do is going to stop that man, is what he's talking about, right? Like all this fucking gear and gadgetry doesn't fucking matter at the end of the day.
Yeah.
I mean, no amount of gear or gadgetry can truly subvert a certain level of mindset.
Yeah, even one of the first episodes that we shot, we worked with this company, Faraday Defense, and they have what's called a DEFCON.
I think so.
So it's this thing.
Those are the Faraday bags that you always talk about?
No, this is the same
this is-
company, but it's a device for a vehicle.
So if there was an EMP or some flare or anything like that, and
Oh, yeah, I saw you install one of these on
Yeah,
the
so
truck.
it's actually really cool. So all these people, like for us with the Big Richard, we put all this money that's going into the Big Richard. But if there's some sort of electrical sun flare or EMP, your vehicle is not going to start. Like, so the pavement princess is completely not going anywhere.
And by the way, it's not jumpable. If an EMP hits,
everything
not
electronic
only
is fried.
dead, it's dead.
Permanently.
Dead
So you
forever.
get this device, and I think it's called Def.
I think it's the DEF.
It's on my DEFCON. Go to Faraday Defense and
vehicle probably.
electronic Faraday Defense Electronics. Oh, there it is.
Do the same, Bob, so we can show the audience here.
It's a DEFCON.
I'm curious
So
to see
you
what
put
thing
this
is.
on your car, tap it. It takes 5 minutes to install, and if there is
Shit,
that,
it's not even $500. That's pretty cheap.
and it will stop your car from frying it, you can actually drive and get out. I recommend everybody go get this.
So when everyone else's vehicle is dead, that yours will start.
Yeah, Faraday
And
Defense is an amazing.
it's
they've
a
got
pretty-
all
yeah,
sorts of
yeah,
So
guns.
the
it's a pretty
second
cheap-
second level of that is to make sure you've got guns to protect your asset that now nobody else has. That's always step
guns,
2.
water.
And it's called DEF CON. Is there an image of it, Bob? Go to
yeah.
images.
Yeah,
Sorry,
go
what is
to
it called?
Faraday
It's
Defense.
DEFCON.
Faraday
It's
Defense.
Faraday
Images at the top
Defense
of the page?
DEFCON. Defense
Defense.
DEFCON.
Yeah.
DEFCON.
I want to see what this thing is.
It's tiny. It's not huge.
They're not a sponsor. They should be.
Yeah,
Yeah, they should be.
I'd be down, dude.
Yeah, there it is. Yeah, it's just this little.
So what do you do
device.
with that? And where does it go?
So
It
goes
goes
on-
onto the battery. It's
It's
literally
3.5
took
by 4.5
less than
inches,
5
basically.
minutes to install. Less
Yeah.
than
Oh,
5
shit.
minutes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So like the size
Very
of your
simple.
hand.
and then how long will it last?
I think for
yeah,
life
the
of
life
the
of the car.
vehicle.
Yeah, life
of-
I mean,
yeah,
just put it on there.
don't
Yeah.
quote me on that. But
Yeah.
Okay.
Hey, we got to remember to take that off when we transfer trucks too.
Oh yeah. Good call. Yeah.
Why? What happens?
No,
Well, no, because we
have it on
put
my-
it on the current vehicle, and we're trading the current vehicle in for the new vehicle. So we just got to
because
switch
they're going
to
to do.
that.
Oh,
and so
yeah, yeah.
when Total Off Road is building our vehicle, we're going to feature all this sort of new technology and equipment inside the thing. Like we're going to have, this Faraday, tents and stuff that we'll be able to go in and out to be completely off grid. We'll have all sorts of different satellites and stuff. It'll be a pretty.
The EMP protection space has grown.
Yeah.
Like 5 years ago, you couldn't find almost anything on
Yeah.
EMP protection. Now, you can find entire tents to pull a vehicle in. You can find server bags.
Yeah, it's been really
I
fun
mean,
designing
you
this,
name it.
what the Big Richard's going to look like. And then at the end of each season, what we're going to do is we'll raffle off the Big Richard. And then starting the next season, we'll start a whole new
Big
build.
Richard
New technology,
2.0.
Yeah, 2.0.
And
So
bigger,
it'll keep
better,
bigger and better.
more Richard.
Longer uncut.
Longer uncut.
Longer,
Yeah.
Full
Surf, dude.
Full
Yeah,
stop.
but when we come through Texas, we'll have to have you guys come jump in the truck with us and get weird.
I'd
Yeah,
love
we'll do
to,
it.
man.
Come
Fuck
stroke
yeah.
the Big Richard.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I'll
yeah.
stroke the Big Richard. You guys have a photo of it now?
Pet its hood.
Just the back of the
we'll
T-shirt.
send you one tomorrow because we're
Just the
going.
back of the T-shirt.
Yeah, but we're
Okay.
going tomorrow
Yeah,
to.
Joe Nobody did that. So that's
Oh, that's fucking dope, dude.
yeah.
Look at that, dude.
Aliens
And when
is
is it? When does it start? And where does it air?
We start. We don't have our actual drop. It'll be the podcast will
Sometime this month.
The podcast and then the show
On YouTube.
Yeah,
There'll be two
yeah,
fake
there's stuff
seals on YouTube.
But the show itself, we're just waiting for the ink to dry. So
That's awesome.
yeah, very excited.
Fuck yeah, man.
It's gonna be fun, man. And Tyler and I were driving around yesterday. It's like, man, we just stopped and shot some content at like a go-kart fucking track, and like it's just us going and having fun, and me being an idiot. And so Tyler sort of walking me through these scenarios, but at the same time, then us just kind of like what you guys are doing, just having fun and traveling around the country, and then within all the disasters and in the success of the show, then we'll head to different parts of the world and continue the quest to learn how to survive.
Yeah, man.
South America would be dope, dude.
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, wait until Trump's done EUing everybody and everything.
Well,
before
they
he's-
just signed a deal with El Salvador, so like at least
Yeah,
that's
true.
safe now.
Yeah.
You know?
Canada's safe again now.
That's what I heard, man.
Did he?
He caved.
He caved?
Yeah, he caved to those tariffs.
Man,
They have 30
as-
days to
as-
prove they're going to fall in line.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Justin Trudeau, man. I mean,
Yeah, he's
that guy's just
he's a winner.
because the Canadian people are awesome people. People in Canada are awesome, and it just sucks that this guy. And I don't care what you try and tell me. That guy has ruined Canada. You cannot get into the market for anything up there. If you go and shoot a movie up there, the amount of money it costs, like you get your per diem, and you can't buy anything with your per diem. Like $100 in Canada will get you like 3 items at the grocery store.
Vancouver used to be the spot, dude.
Oh, it was
for a long time.
awesome.
That was
Yeah.
the spot.
I mean, the Canadian dollar just took a big shit again today.
Yeah, it sounded like 68
Yeah,
or something.
so
I don't
every
remember.
production is going to Canada right now.
Really?
Yeah, everything.
No shit.
Yeah, a U.S. dollar I think is worth $1.68 now.
Yeah.
now,
Okay.
something like that. It's crazy.
Oh, it's bad. Yeah.
And lastly, because you guys are in it still in Hollywood, with the fires and everything, what are they going to do with production there? I've heard it's essentially just a ghost town.
Well, a lot of stuff. The last couple of years has been shot here. A lot of stuff over.
Well, I know
in South Carolina,
Atlanta,
Georgia.
South Carolina, Wilmington is coming back as well.
Wilmington's coming back too.
It's very rare that a show would film in Los Angeles because it's so expensive, and it's crazy. They didn't really offer any incentives. I think Gavin Newsom offered some new thing, but it's your cost of like what the gas is, and the Teamsters, and it's through the roof. The unfortunate thing, though, I think what happened with the strike and stuff, and it priced a lot of stuff out where everyone's gone overseas now. There's more productions.
A lot in Romania, Serbia.
Yeah. We filmed in Serbia, but everything's gone
Jack
over
Carr
there.
filmed his whole new season over there.
Did he really?
Yeah, in Istanbul.
Istanbul.
And I filmed in Istanbul. It is so much fun. So it really sucks because a lot of our close friends are crew members here, and they are suffering right now because our unions fucked it up, and it costs too much, and they're going overseas now to film. So I'm hoping that anything that I'm a part of, if I have a say, I can have it done here, so we can get a lot of the people that we know and love to go to work. But with Los Angeles, I think LA's got I know a bunch of people that lost houses. I'm sure you do too.
Yeah.
That is devastating, man. It's so sad to see. So I'm hoping that there's just some sort of grace you can give these people to get their lives back together, and then with the film community, because it brings so much money in one big lump, that the film community can go back to Los Angeles and find a way to.
It's definitely an opportunity to incentivize it, and maybe Mel can get something worked out since he's going to be the ambassador or whatever the fuck.
Schwarzenegger did a great job with it when he was governor there. For real, shockingly, I was just like, huh, that guy. But he did, and he brought all the incentives there, production stayed, and all that other shit, and then. Over the last
I never understand it. Why
6 years?
I never understand it when a new person comes in. Like, we're getting rid of these. I'm like, they don't look at all the secondary industries that are affected, like the dry cleaning, the hotels that are booked for a year solid. The restaurants, the people, or when that amount of money comes in, there's such a ripple effect to all of these other industries. And then when it's gone, you go back to this like false reality. Oh, that was because of the film industry. That was 100% because of the film industry, not anything else. So it always goes in this cycle. It'll be great for a couple of years, and then someone will come and be like, "We're getting rid of this," and then it suffers. The film industry, tax incentives or tax rebates in any state is a good thing. It's a massive influx.
Taxes are theft, all of them.
Yeah.
No. Look, you guys have both been on the show before.
Yes.
We usually do this thing called the Drinkin' Bro of the Week. However, since you guys have a new show,
yes,
what I wanted to ask, since both of you have given out Drinkin' Bros of the Week, who would be your dream guest on your new show, Two Fake Seals? And I'll start with you.
Oh, dream guest. Oh, man.
If you could have anybody on the show, who would it be?
Well, I haven't even thought about that. Ask Tyler.
You're gonna have to. You're gonna have to someday. Tyler, who would be your dream guest on Two Fake Seals?
Two Fake Seals, dream guest on Two Fake Seals.
Bear Grylls.
That would be dope, dude.
It would be.
He could eat his own urine in the snow.
Yeah, I'd do it with him.
I don't know. It's a really. I don't know. I don't even know. Fuck, I don't know.
I don't know who would be a dream guest. That's a tough.
That's a great question.
I haven't even thought about that. I haven't gotten past just trying
Maynard from Tool.
Who?
Maynard from Tool?
Yeah.
Wow.
Really? You big Tool fan?
I love Tool. I think Tool's a phenomenal band, but I think he's unique to me. I mean, he's truly a great artist. But what I think is interesting about him specifically that a lot of people don't know is that he's a veteran.
No shit. I didn't know that.
Maynard from Tool was an Army veteran.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm sure you probably know that.
If there was a way that we could get an episode with the Muppets, I'd fucking be.
What are you talking
Because
about?
of your kids?
Dude, we were just
You're gonna try to trick your kids into thinking you.
No, like remember, like we were talking about the Muppets yesterday. The Muppets,
Yes, we were.
like how cool, like the Muppets, like the animal, and like have like the old guys in the truck.
Yep.
Like,
Yeah.
It would be a funny episode.
Yes.
Okay.
It'd be crazy.
That's weird as shit.
I
by the
know,
way.
man. Hey, man, you asked me. I went there.
Okay, that's fine. That's fine. I asked because mine died a couple weeks ago, and I was pissed off about it. Yeah. It was Ricky Henderson.
Oh.
We tried to get him on the show for years, and he was my favorite athlete as a kid.
Yeah.
And he's got the craziest stories of all time. and he only talks in the third person, so it would have just been a really funny. Yeah.
It's amazing.
Yeah.
And so
Maybe now he talks about himself in the fourth person.
Yeah.
I hope so, because he's up there. He's looking down. He's not looking up at us.
exactly.
He's stealing
but-
bases in heaven now.
Sure is, dude. Because he stole my heart as a kid, and it sucks because I'm like, oh shit. He's like, Trump would be rad because of ratings and everything else, but that was my favorite, and I'm like, well, shit. I don't know who it is now.
Well, I know mine.
Well, yeah. Who's yours?
It's myself 5 years from now.
Is it?
Like McConaughey.
That's
right?
gonna be
Oh
tough.
shit! You don't know. How old is your oldest kid, AJ?
11.
Okay, so I think mine is AJ's oldest 7 years from now. So at 18, I can tell him his dad didn't take him to Disney World.
Yeah.
And they kind of, I want to ruin it on the show for him, and then watch him melt down.
Oh, yeah,
And then kind of show him what Myrtle Beach really is.
And we kind of like, I got you.
Well, we appreciate you guys being here. Check out 2 Fake Seals when it airs. AJ, Tyler, always a fucking pleasure, man.
Thanks so much, man.
Go to iTunes, rate this show a 5-star, and leave a quick review. Also, head on over to Spotify. It's just a 5-star, and you can walk away. For Anthony Hollaway, AJ Buckley, Tyler Gray, I'm Ross Patterson. This is the Drinkin' Bros podcast. Good night, everyone.
Good night.
Thanks, guys.